Today I would like to teach you how to make a French seam. It is a way of hiding your edge of your fabric that is usually unraveling just like that inside a little pouch. So you're going to have a smooth, really neat edge right here on the inside as well as the outside. So let me teach you how to do the French seam. So in order to make a French seam, you will first have the right side on the outside of your piece. So here it's two fabric pieces just for this tutorial. So we have the wrong side facing each other and we have the right side on the outside. So I'm going to make a little pouch that has an opening just for this purpose of this tutorial. So we're going to go around like this, and we're going to make a U-shape seam, and then we're going to flip it around and sew it up again in order to create the French seam. So let's do just that. So make sure that you're using a normal presser foot here, and we're just going to do the normal, the straight line, and then we're also going to use the button. Your needle stays down when you stop and turn. So I'll show you what that means. We're also going to make sure that our ends are secured by using our backwards button. So I'm sewing about 1/4 of an inch roughly as a seam allowance, and I'm going to stop roughly 1/4 of an inch away from the end. I will lift up my presser foot and turn. As you can see, my needle is staying down. And now I'm going to continue on sewing. It. Cut off our ends. Now we can remove our needles here that made sure that our fabric stays in place. So I cut around a little bit to make it a bit tighter, and then also cut our corners. If we're now going to flip it inside out, point into make our corners a corner like that. Technically, you need to now press it down with an iron in order to make sure it stays very nice and neat. Now for this tutorial itself, I won't do that. In fact, I'm just going to use my needles here to really make sure that once I press it here, it stays where it's supposed to be. But please keep in mind that technically you're supposed to press it with an iron first to make sure it is nice and neat and tight over here before you sew around again. Okay, so now we're going to sew all the way around. Since we cut off a little bit of the fabric, we can go again and do about 1/4 of an inch. I have here roughly 1/4 to like 3/8 of an inch. We're now going to sew all the way around to finish up our project and show off the French seam. So again, I'm going to be about 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch, and we're going to secure our ends on both ends. So we can now cut our ends, remove our needles, and flip it around again and show off how the seam is hidden on the right side of the fabric. So you can now see that the right side has a nice, neat seam, and the inside also has a nice seam where the fabric does not unravel like you can see here on top. I left it that way so you can see what that means. This is typically how the ends look like of a seam, but if you do the French seam, you can see that it's nicely hidden on the inside and it won't unravel when you have like a bag or something. It looks nice from the outside as well as the inside, with a nice French seam, and this works great if you do projects, even if you want to attach this little baggie onto a crochet project. It works great with that. So the other option, if you don't want to do the French seam, you can fold over your piece twice. That also hides the seam on the inside. So that will be a way to do that on the top here to make sure that the fabric doesn't unravel all the way around when you use it for different projects. I hope this tutorial was helpful on how to do a French seam on a little pouch that you can use for crochet projects to use them from on the inside as a little lining. And I hope this video is helpful. Please give it a like and comment and share, as well as subscribe to my YouTube channel for any future videos and get a notification when they are available or if I'm going live. Please let me know if this video was helpful to you, and until then, I'll see you next time. Bye!